NIL deals. Bijan Robinson just inked his 6th with Lamborghini Austin.
It helps a lot.
Watch behind his now viral legendary flex. Well, it's an Audemars Piguet.
Wide receiver Jeremiah Smith with $4 million in the bank and big deals with Lululemon and Red Bull. It's Arch Manning. The Texas quarterback is pulling in $6.5 million in sponsorships from big companies like...
All they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them.
Hey, what it do, man? Check it out. It's your boy, Mr. 1%, and we back right here on the 1% Network. And today, man, we're going to focus on college football, NIL, what's going on, what does it mean? And we got to see a lot of guys shining, man. You got to see the Sanders family, you know, making a lot of money over there. I want to say them guys are making more money. A lot of guys probably making more money in college than they making in the pro, you know, with the different NIL deals and you just how much the college game is exposed, you know. So we definitely going to get a look into that. Check out Kirby Smart, you know, one of the greats, you know, probably be in the College Football Hall of Fame just for coaching, you know, what he's done over the last 10 years. But I'm sure he has probably a lengthier history than that. I seen some clips with him catching interceptions out there with Champ Bailey and them boys back in the day playing for them Georgia Bulldogs, man. So we about to dive into it. Now, we got to see, what's my man from Alabama? Nick Saban, you know, he left the game. He said it was going to change. You know, Deion Sanders entering the game, you know, was a big change. And I think a lot of people are just used to the old school way of doing things, man. They're not ready for the change and can't see, you know, how important content and things like that are, you know, for brands, for players, you know, being able to take advantage of all those things that guys in the past really couldn't take advantage of, man. But Kirby, let's get into a little bit of Kirby Smart's thoughts and what he thinks of NIL and what's going on in today's game, man. First off, Kirby Smart, he says he just want to be able to have a freshman come in and not make more than a senior. I like for other sports to still be able to survive. We're on the brink of probably a year or two of a lot of schools cutting sports completely. That's crazy, man. Quote unquote, coming from Kirby Smart. And I think he hit it right on the head, you know, with how much money's being thrown around. And now you're starting to see things like on Facebook with fake posts, or, you know, some of my kids that I work with in the college ranks right now sending me messages of people, you know, making up stories on them, rejecting or accepting millions of dollars to go to other universities to play sports. They're like, this is absolutely not true. You know, 1%, this is absolutely not true. What's your thoughts on this? And from my own personal experience dealing with NIL, some of the college organizations different around the country, everybody handles it different. You know, there are a lot of untrue stories being told of kids being offered a lot of money and not accepting it, or universities just throwing money around. It's really not like that. You know, you kind of have to perform for sure, and you have to have a name, image, and likeliness. You know, that's what it's all about. You kind of have you kind of have to be able to sell things, you know, help sell jerseys, help sell tickets, so things of that nature. And I think that's another reason why the transfer portal is such a big deal. You know, guys get these things promised to them, it doesn't happen. We got to see it last year with UNLV starting running back and quarterback about week 3 or 4 of the season. They sit down, you know, because they were promised something. They don't get it. They're going out there winning games, doing what they supposed to do as an athlete. And, you know, it is a business now. So you can't be mad at those guys, man. But those are some of the things that I got to see, you know, from my own experience. Like I said, I've definitely been a part of some of the NIL situations and, you know, got to speak to some of the collectives. And it's case by case. It's definitely case by case. So I say that everybody isn't a bad guy, but everyone isn't out here to help you either, you know. So families and kids, stay on your 1s and 2s when it comes to that NIL and keep your head up. So I can definitely understand his point where he says he thinks, you know, some schools might just cut sports completely, and I can see that happening. I can definitely see that being a possibility in the future, not being able to keep up with the University of Georgias, the Alabamas, the Texas, some of the major programs that have a lot of backing. You know, they have a lot of alumni, a lot of donations, a lot of things, a lot of business going on outside of the basketball court or outside of the football field. So how do your smaller schools keep up with that? You know, Deion Sanders did a real good job going down to the HBCU and putting light on them, and now we got Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick coaching. So I think that's a way to kind of put light on the other levels of college football, but it's still going to be really hard to compete, you know, just in state. You know, if you have one of the major universities, and pretty much every state does, you know, have a major university or two or three if you're like Florida, you know, so where does that leave some of the smaller schools that can't compete? You know, they're not going to be able to do all the fancy gets and gadgets, you know. So I definitely think Kirby Smart hit that right on the head, man. Like I said, we got to see Nick Saban step away from college football. That was a big loss for college football, but we gained one with Deion Sanders coming back and showing a new perspective on the game and how to change it and how to make it, you know, benefit the players and the best for the players. And it's a lot of money being thrown around. You know, NIL is not only for the college guys. You know, it's all the way down to Little League now. Some of the big name youth sports kids, you know, you see them with brand deals and they're all over the country, you know, faces plastered up everywhere, man. So it's interesting to see, you know, how this affects everything. And I think it's great for the sport. Also, I think for football guys getting an opportunity to play in the USA, right, to win a gold medal, flag football, they don't want to play tackle football any other country. Like, who's going to cover Tyreek Hill? You got Lamar Jackson at quarterback. We can put freaking whoever at receiver. We got so many of them, you know, that can go out there and play. And I'm sure some guys going to turn it down, but whoever accepts from the NFL, I'm expecting us to win a gold medal. Yeah, and that's about it. That wraps it up right now with the thought process on the NIL. That was just a quick 1-2 hitter on what's going on in sports right now, college football, and a little bit of pros. If you have time, man, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is NIL killing the college game? You know, is our college sports going to be cut off completely soon? You know, what do you think? Let me know. Leave it down in the comments. Hit that like button and share. 1%, we out.